This episode of the Young Turks brought to you by Audible.com. Get a free audiobook at audiblepodcast.com/TYT.
Well, as you surely know by now, today many a Democratic lawmaker smarting over the president's tax cut deal with Republicans. But for our friend Cenk Uygur, it's just the latest part of an ongoing pattern, and it may have serious implications for Democrats in the long run. Through his view, the Turk himself, young as ever, in the House. Cenk, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Dylan. I believe that President Obama is the world's worst negotiator. His record of capitulation is unfortunately legendary. Let me begin to give you a partial list. First, of course, we have this latest tax cuts for the rich, for which he got incredibly little in return. But other parts of that list that people don't talk about that much. A third of the stimulus bill was massive tax cuts, again, proposed by the president even before they got into serious negotiations. The federal pay freeze that he recently did and got absolutely nothing in return for. Just gave the Republicans that 2-year pay freeze without any negotiations and anything in return. Gave up the public option in the health care fight to the Republicans, got absolutely nothing in return. He might have done a secret deal with the hospitals, but he won't admit to that, and he got nothing from the Republican Party. You go to point number 5. He got no limit on leverage in the bank reform bill. He got almost nothing in the bank reform bill, if you ask me. Nothing about capital requirements, nothing about breaking up the big banks. Unsurprisingly, very poor negotiations. Then there were no hearings on torture or false evidence leading into Iraq or warrantless wiretapping. None. Of course, a record number of investigations, my guess, will start immediately as soon as the Republicans come in on him. In fact, they promised one on healthcare fight today. Okay, so the investigations are coming, even though he unilaterally disarmed, as he always does, when it came to investigations about the Republicans. And then finally, one more on the list of many, many things we did not include, the expansion of the offshore oil drilling. That's, of course, what he did right before the BP oil disaster. And what did he get in return for agreeing to the Republican idea of expanding offshore oil drilling? Not a damn thing. He just gave it to him, and then, oops, the BP oil spill blew up on his hands instead of Republican hands. You know, the best and most generous interpretation of this is that he is terrible at negotiations. Of course, as you look at that long list of failure, you begin to wonder if he's just fundamentally weak, or maybe he wants all of these things to happen, that he's not really a progressive at all and constantly says, oh, golly gee willikers, what could I do? I just couldn't get it passed in the Senate. I'm going to come back to that in a second. But let's take a look at the tax cut so-called compromise that he just did. Look, 67% of the American people, according to a CBS News poll, were in favor of cutting taxes for the rich. Was against cutting taxes for the rich. 53% wanted only for middle-class tax cuts. 14% didn't want any tax cuts at all, including to the rich. Only 26% wanted tax cuts for everybody, including the rich. Come on, man, 67 to 26. How incredibly weak do you have to be that you can't even play that hand? According to other research from Anzalone List Research, 77% said that if we use the money to pay off the deficit instead of giving it to the rich in tax cuts, they would be in favor of it. 77%. They wound up concluding that this was a golden opportunity for the Democrats, and of course, President Obama decided to pass up that golden opportunity because at best, he is the world's worst negotiator. And he just gave the Republicans exactly what they wanted. And by the way, on this tax cut, it's not just the tax cut for the top 2%. The estate taxes cut to 35% when it would have been 55%. It applies to people making $5 million exemption rather than the $1 million exemption. A huge tax break for people like Paris Hilton. And then what nobody's talking about, capital gains stays at 15%, dividends stay at 15%, carried interest at 15%. You know what that means? That means people with accumulated wealth that make a great amount of their money from investments, not from salary, only pay 15%. They pay a much lower rate than the great majority of the American people. The rich get overwhelmingly richer. And what did we get in return? Something that he could have easily passed anyway. He could have fought on every single one of these issues, and he didn't do it. And finally, why didn't he do it? Because let's listen to him. This is what he said at his press conference yesterday.
We can't get my preferred option through the Senate right now. I can't win in the Senate.
The guy who said, yes, we can, is now saying, no, I can't win. That's because you don't fight, Mr. President.
Cenk, you speak for many and you do it well. We appreciate your taking the time to show us your passion and share with us your thoughts. Cenk Uygur, the Young Turk. Check him out on the Young Turks.
Anna, we got a new sponsor, Audible.com. Go.
I love Audible.com because they have over 75,000 titles to choose from, and you can download on both your iPod or your MP3 player.
They're actually the largest provider of downloadable digital audiobooks, so you can choose any book you like. And if you go through us, you actually get a free audiobook of your choice, which is a pretty good deal. So go to audiblepodcast.com/TYT.